Yo, what up? What up, gang? What up? How's everyone doing? Ready? TGIF, Friday, February 6th. We're about to watch some market stuff, right? Obviously, looking over the charts, getting ready. We got a lot of crazy stuff that happened this week. So I want you guys to definitely keep, your eyes peeled because it's going to be a good session. You guys hear me good? Good to be back on another Friday. I'm excited to be here. So, I'm still working on the whole audio stuff. I know it's like I'm pretty sure it's good, but this could be 10 times better. I hope the video is good. If you guys have Wi-Fi that can support it, go to the highest quality for a better experience. But we're gonna be on a streaming software next week, for sure. Just figuring that stuff out. Good. All right, guys. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm gonna share my screen and show you guys what's popping on the charts because this was definitely a good um a good week as far as like entertaining stuff. Was it a good trading week? I managed to catch a couple of trades that were good. I went through this market unscathed, which is important. But like I said, if you guys weren't finding any opportunities, don't stress about it because this was a hard market to navigate through. So yeah, don't worry, don't stress too much. Markets can be crazy sometimes, so if you don't know how to navigate them, it can cause problems. But you guys are good. You guys are champs, so I don't expect anything less from you guys. You guys are beasts. So let's go into the charts. Let's go in and see what happened. First of all, we're gonna see like fully like raw and uncut what my predictions were last week and see which ones went good and if any failed. But I think the highlight has got to be Bitcoin. It has to be. And I'll show you guys why. Okay. Let me know if you guys can see the screen. I know I see the messages a bit delayed, but as soon as I see that first one, I think we're good though. I see it on my end, so we should be fine. But let's go and look at this market, guys. Look at what happened. We had from what was it, the beginning of this week? The last week we went from 80,000 80,000 on Bitcoin all the way down to 59 or about 60,000. 59,000 technically. If you guys look at the low, $59,930 on Bitcoin. Insane, right? Insane stuff. And so if you guys remember our bias call out, which I think is the craziest thing of all of this. If you guys remember, I know it wouldn't be on YouTube because we were doing this in the academy itself. But if you guys remember my monthly call out on Bitcoin, some of you guys took advantage of this, some of you didn't. But we filled the monthly fair value gap, which also doubles as a BPR. Do you guys see how clean this was? Do you see this monthly BPR that we tapped into in January? Like look, I want you guys to look at this. Screenshot this if you have to and post it on social media. We filled the monthly fair value gap, which was also a BPR, massive bearish sign, heading to the next draw on liquidity. Seems the most likely. At the minimum, targeting this still keeps us inside of the bullish monthly, which is true because this bullish monthly, we're still inside. We just kind of escaped it a little bit, but obviously we got 22 days left in the month. So in my opinion, what we're seeing is a market correction. It's just a big retracement. It's a crazy one, but we're inside of a big monthly fair value gap. Now, the cool thing about these sessions are these are recorded. So there's no way I can get around capping. This is what I'm calling out right now, okay? I don't see any reason for price to want to go lower. Obviously, we need big corrections like this once in a while. From 125,000 all the way down to 59,000. That is a ridiculous drop. We went from all-time highs down 65 or 52%. We went 52% down on Bitcoin. Okay? It's a massive, massive, like crazy situation. Okay? And the reason why that's important is because you have to understand that every big market that has massive moves up will always come down at some point. They're always going to come down at some point. And, it may not happen immediately, but when we have a big correction like this, especially if we stay inside of the monthly imbalance this week, then, or this month, sorry, we're going to continue to press higher. And so that's my analysis. We called out the crash, and now I'm letting you guys know it's time to correct. So, we got to wait for some bullish structure on the daily time frame. And if I see that, then we can start positioning ourselves long. Okay. So I'm going to update this. After hitting the monthly BPR, we had price drop 53%. As it stands now, if we hold the monthly fair value gap, we'll continue to push higher and take out the newly formed draws on liquidity. Drop faster than my usual margin. That's crazy. Do you think it's going to go any lower over the next few days or just sort of to go higher? I do think it has potential to go lower the next couple days. Like I think over the next week we could end up lower as well. I don't know if we'll go lower than our lowest low, which is 59K, but I do think overall that like give it like the end of this month and the next month, we'll likely go bullish, okay? And you guys, like I said, this is all recorded so you can catch me if I'm wrong. All right. But to me, this is going to look like a massive liquidity sweep on the weekly time frame with a strong rejection with 2 days left. And it does look good for daily bullish signs. So if we get any good reversals here, we can definitely take some trades. Because I see, like, if you guys look at it like this, hold on, let me just look at the 4 hour. Yeah. So I could be ballsy and take a trade off, any BPR that's happening right here, which we can see. Like there's a BPR that we're about to tap into soon. And I could be like, yeah, let me put swing low there. That's a huge swing trade. I'm not waiting to take a $10,000 or 1,000 pips stop loss. I don't want to have that. So we're gonna wait to refine our entry. Okay. But over the next week, we could consolidate even, right? But we got to see some bullish structure. So I want to see like some swing highs form over here, and we take them out, break a structure to the downside, fill a fair value gap, and continue higher. Obviously, if you guys are new to the platform, or you guys have never heard of SMC and you're seeing my live session for the first time, this may be confusing to you, but you guys will learn, right? Inside of our academy, we do all the education that you guys would need to understand this. And if you guys are free on YouTube, then definitely look into it. Check the links in the bio, and you guys can see what's popping and see if you guys want to, get started with this community. Or you can just learn from free on these sessions every single week, right? But you're only gonna get so far doing that. Um, I've been down the YouTube road for I was down there for years, right? Trying to find information, and everyone has conflicting opinions and stuff. So it's always good to have things filtered out and nice and easy. So yeah, this is the situation we got, but I do think that we're gonna rise bullish. Again, I don't want to say like full port longs right now. That could be a bad idea, but I definitely want to see a good, clean A plus setup to go long before we do that, right? So before we take any positions, this is my bias, my narrative for the you know for the Bitcoin asset. But look at this monthly BPR, which if you guys don't know, it's a bearish fair value gap overlapping with a bullish or bearish inversion fair value gap. Insane, perfect wick, and we get all the way down there. If we go lower, I mean, I don't know why we would, but it could be to fill some empty imbalances here. That would be scary though. We haven't seen Bitcoin at $20,000, in a couple years. That's really, really messed up. But yeah, this is definitely sending the whole market into a panic. A lot of people right now are just completely like scared. Like you guys would not understand. People are seeing crypto portfolios get destroyed. people bought at the highs, right? They bought at the peak of Bitcoin and just got clapped. So we obviously you guys don't do that here. You guys make money on the way down, but this is just so you're aware of what I think is going to happen in the market. We had big monthly liquidity get swept right now early on. We got 22 days left in the month, so I think we're gonna get a nice rejection higher. Pretty confident in that. So yeah, we'll go from there. But that's my outlook on Bitcoin. Okay. So for long term investors, buy now. I mean, if you're holding long term, yeah, I would definitely. This is not investment advice. Like, don't take my words as financial advice. Like, your decisions are your decisions. But I definitely would, if I was holding Bitcoin long term, right, and I'm looking to get a reentry, this would be where I take it. Because even if price drops a little bit, it's highly unlikely we're gonna get to like 30K, 20K, right? But 77, this is the lowest we've been in. Even 70 at this point is the lowest that we've been on Bitcoin since last year. So good time to buy. All right. Now we got gold, right? Gold, I was bullish for this asset, and we have been, right? This is the BPR. But we did have a massive crash. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget about the massive crash. Now, I did, look at this, guys. Make no mistake, these weekly imbalances, this is insane. Look at what we called out last week. I said we're bullish for this asset, still need to reach all-time high territory, potential fill of the imbalance and the discount of this weekly range, specifically to the daily, which there is a daily like down here. Look at this, guys. We called this out perfectly. I think this was last week. It's nice being able to ask questions and get answered ASAP. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Is the picture coming through good? Is it coming through okay, guys? Is it lagging at all? I'm sure what matters more is my voice, but like, just let me know. Perfect. Looks like I'll be full porting. Hey, I wouldn't. If put the house on the line, put the kids on the line, put the animals on the line, and full. No, don't take that as financial advice. There's some people who are gonna hop on this that don't know who we are or who I am, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's getting everyone to completely like blow their accounts." I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't full port. Please, guys, don't. But look at these weekly imbalances. They got respected and price came up. That is a perfect correction, perfect retracement on a bullish. This is what you want to see. This is healthy retracement. Everyone is panicked that that gold went down to 4,300, which by the way is extremely high. But like, come on, we look really good. Nice. When you see a rejection week, this is what we call a pin bar. If you guys know what a pin bar candle is, it's a strong sign of rejection outside of these imbalances, right? These fair value gaps over here. That means good draws on liquidity to the upside. What does that mean in plain English? There is now that we've had a big down move after the up move, what do you think is going to happen? In a bullish trend, we have low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. What did we get? We got a big retracement, right? And this pin bar is a massive sign. What further confirms that? We have these two big rectangular boxes, right? These good looking, juicy weekly fair value gaps. Those are high time frame. This is why we look, guys. We trade high time frame to go and find low time frame entries. We use high time frame narrative to find low time frame execution. That's what we do, and we're clinical. We don't just look at one time frame and execute based off of feeling or because the market's going that direction. We look at high time frame, and if what we do, if how we trade agrees with the high time frame narrative, we're gonna trade in that direction. Does that make sense? Drop a one if that makes sense, guys. I don't know how many of you guys are on here from like, you know, the academy or from YouTube or whoever, but like, let me know if that makes sense. This is what most traders don't talk about, right? I want you guys to like some traders say that bias and narrative isn't important. It is extremely important. You have to have a good bias and narrative going into the market because you want to trade high probability setups, right? So overall, we had a bearish, what day was it? Monday. We had a bullish week. So I was bullish right after, filling this, and we did, right? It was some resistance, like in the sense of price didn't just climb up perfectly, but we had nice setups and we want to disrespect this bearish imbalance. Like I see this big daily bearish for value gap and it's huge. We want to disrespect this because I want price to continue to go higher. So that's what I'm waiting for. Do I need price to disrespect this to take a trade? No, but it would be nice. Can't lie. Right. But if I get any bullish power of three, so if you guys haven't learned what that is, you will. But if I get any bullish really good A plus signs for bullish setups, then that's what I'm taking. Funny enough, guys, look at this BPR here, right? This BPR got fully filled. We tapped into it. Price came all the way down and we took off. So I'm going to delete this now. We don't need it anymore. We're going to mark up. This is gold, right? This is gold. Um, Previous day high, previous day low. We're going to do our markup and stuff over here. All right. Now we got targets to the upside. We got big liquidity up here. We got this one, which is you guys heard the cat. He just meowed. But yeah, we have this big swing high here. A lot of orders to be filled. This is low resistance liquidity. It's a nice target for us. In other words, they're just very attractive magnets for the market to want to go to. Okay, these two lines with the dollar signs. All right, guys. So we're bullish for this asset. All right. Cool. So I'm bullish. I'm still bullish. I'm going to update this bias, okay, here. And use this in your trading next week, all right? Bullish for this asset as we've completely rejected weekly fair value gaps. Price formed a big pin bar on the weekly time frame, which we can use as a bullish sign. That's it. Nice and simple for gold. So last week wasn't the easiest week to navigate. Gold has been very like high volume. There's been so much, so much money put into this asset and dumped as well into the asset. And stop losses were like 300, 400, 500 pips, 1,000 pips on like a 15-minute candle. It's stupid. So, very, very dangerous. But hopefully the market levels out a bit. We chill out and we just start using these liquidities up top to just get higher and higher and higher and higher. And that'll set us up really nice. Okay. So I don't send signals when markets are like that because you guys that are trading on small accounts, or if you're trading on big accounts but you have no experience, you can blow it. And we don't want that. Right. So that's what gold's gonna look like. So the gold, Bitcoin. Let's do MNQ. So my favorite over here, NASDAQ. Okay. We're in a ranging market. Price has no clear signs of liquidity. I'll wait for a big obvious sign towards something before executing. Leaning bullish overall, but if we keep respecting bearish imbalances, it's likely we'll keep hunting sell side liquidity, which, we were right. We were respecting bearish imbalances, and that was a huge bearish sign this week. So that ended up being the case where we're just hunting sell side liquidity. Okay. So that's where we're at now. We had a strong rejection from here. I was waiting for maybe some SMT at the lows. So if we see, we're still consolidating. We haven't broken out of any range. We didn't take out any liquidity. If we look at the low, is it December 18? I don't think that's the same low though. December 18. So we got to look at November 21st. November 21st. Here, let's do this. All right. So we got the daily chart here. We got to put the daily chart here. This is the daily chart on ES, which is S&P. And this is the daily chart on NASDAQ. Okay. So you can see that this low of the 21st hasn't been swept by here, right? We haven't swept it. We didn't sweep it here either, but notice the massive difference in the distance that we have to the sell side liquidity, right? So we have this interesting area for S&P because we had a massive bearish run, but we got no SMT at the lows to tell me, yeah, you know what? We're obviously going to go higher and higher and higher. We're very close to reaching the buy side liquidity over here, which buy side liquidity just means top. Sell side liquidity means liquidity at the bottom. And yeah, we haven't formed an SMT, which is divergence, meaning that like for those of you guys that don't know what that means, SMT in like if you guys ever watched Loki, like the Marvel show Loki, the TVA, Time Variance Authority, the Like if you're doing something in one timeline that shouldn't be happening in that timeline, the TVA is gonna pull up, grab your shit, and just throw you into jail for eternity. So the reason I use it as an example is because if you have a glitch in the matrix between two different assets that should be moving identically, then we call that SMT. Okay, so if a dog should be barking, it should be barking. If it starts quacking, then we have an SMT. We have something weird going on. Okay, so that's what this means. Right now, both of them are doing the same thing, right? They're doing the exact same thing. So as far as like I'm concerned, this is still uncertain. Okay, so I got to write that down. That's an observation that we have. Without major SMT on high time frame and a lack of a trending environment, price action here looks cooked, and we'll have to wait this one out. Okay, that's my opinion, my humble opinion. I don't think you guys should be forcing trades on assets that are consolidating because they're not nice, they're not attractive, it's not sexy, it's not cute, right? We have to make sure that we're being as safe as possible. Because like, why are we trading a market that is literally moving sideways? Like, why? Like, what? How am I looking at this? I'm like, you know what? This is great price action. If you're on the 1 minute time frame, sure, right? We can see stuff. Maybe we see like a crazy A plus setup on the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute. But like, I personally trade 15, 30 minute, 1 hour. So for me, I'm not seeing anything good. If you guys see something good on lower time frame, by all means, trade it. It's not to say the market's crap, because one man's what is it? One man's junk is another man's treasure. So like if I'm seeing crap on high time frame and you see gold on low time frame, perfect, take it. Like vice versa, you might be seeing consolidation on low time frame, and I might see the perfect setup on high time frame, and so I catch a trade and you don't. That's just the reality of trading. Okay, so let's mark up our previous week high, previous week low to identify our range. We got Monday. Monday's high is not the highest high. Tuesday's high is the highest high of the week. So we got price moving like this in this range. And we're currently inside of a daily fair value gap. If I see price disrespect this daily fair value gap and give us a nice bullish structure, what direction do you guys think I'm going to go in? Hmm? What direction do you guys think I'm going to go in if I see that? I'll have you guys guess. Let's see what everyone says. Well, that was a loud one. Oh, you guys hear that one? That was loud. Because for people that focus on what session trading, right? I see many people ignoring the narrative and focus on low time frame of the previous sessions where they have bullish or bearish. Yeah, some people trade like that. So it's just the same thing. You use SMC, you use narratives, but you don't use them on like high time frame. You use them on like mid time frames. You use them on like sessions, hourlies. But I honestly, if I'm gonna be real with you guys, I think anyone that's trading low time frame without like a high time frame context is probably getting cooked, and not telling you, to be honest, because finding profitable traders in the industry is pretty hard. It's hard to know because you can't see people's personal info, nor do they have to show you, right? It's not like your job. It's not your right to see people's bank accounts or anything like that. But because it's hard to know who's making money trading or not, um, you have to kind of go off like their logic. And if their logic is, hey guys, fuck high time frame, just go on low time frame, go 1 minute, start scalping, and just doesn't matter what direction the market's going in. Like it's still important because even if you're trading on the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute, it's nice to have high time frame narrative in your side because if the market is in a bullish environment, why would you be taking sells? Because even on a low time frame, that's a low probability scenario. You don't want to trade like that. So same thing here. You want to make sure you're in a high probability scenario. And any signals groups or free groups that are telling you that they're sending 50 signals a day, I can promise you that those traders are definitely not profitable. I've seen it over and over again. And please, guys, do not fall for bullshit communities or scams or anything like that. Like this. If you guys are in our community, you guys see the value, but like this session is available to the public. So no one's forcing you to do anything except educate yourself, and hopefully you find something here and use it. And if you want to surround yourself with cool people, then obviously, you know, ask someone how to get started with this thing. But yeah, that's my MNQ analysis. Okay, so we got gold in the bag, we got Bitcoin in the bag, we got Nasdaq in the bag. I want to do one more analysis on an asset, and I'm thinking because of where everything is headed right now, I do want to take a look at oil real quick before I move on to the real thing. So I'm very bullish for oil after this big retracement, right? So we saw it, and since then we did move up. So overall, weekly candle was bullish. So we were correct again, which is nice. We're clapping the markets, guys. Our bias every single Friday has been super accurate, super accurate. Make sure this is fine. Okay, there we go. Move this. There we go. Okay. So this is our new liquidity that we have. We're not going to worry about this, high resistance. We got more liquidity resting up above. And if we keep getting these bullish signs, this daily fair value gap didn't quite hold, but the one below it held. You guys see that? Beautiful price action. Price respecting this daily fair value gap after a break is structured to the upside. And I don't see any threat to go down lower. So oil, for oil, like Megan says, the Diddy model, the Diddy asset, we're bullish on oil this week. Okay, so if you guys want to get gas, go out after this call, get some gas because I think we're going on a bull run for oil. Okay, so I'm gonna say waiting for the order block or for value gap fill is the wisest decision heading into the new week. I'll say now that we met our criteria for bullish price, we'll look for longs. If the opportunity presents itself intraday. Okay, that's what our main thing is. This is our next draw on liquidity. Okay, guys. Oil Express. Baby oil is about to get really expensive, so make sure you guys pause. Hold on. Let's not talk about that. If we disrespected the daily, then we're looking bullish. Yeah. This is a bearish imbalance. Why did I mark it red? All right. All right. Let's go to the last asset. So that was just a quick run through. You guys want to see Euro USD or USD CAD? Drop your preference in the chat and we're going to run through it. And that ends the session for today. You guys have your outlooks for multiple assets this week. If you guys don't know how to do a daily bias or any of that, and you guys are in our community, whenever we do live sessions, feel free to ask. I don't mind going through it with you. I don't mind doing a tutorial as well, actually, on one of the YouTube lives these coming days. Okay. USD CAD EU. First one to 3 votes wins. All right. Amalia says USD CAD. Overcharted says EU. Steph says USD CAD. EU. 2 for 2. Next one breaks the tie. Bernard ends the streak. EU. Dunzo. Correcting to the daily, expecting price to continue higher and target new liquidity that's been formed. If price closes below swing lows, we'll flip the bias to target the massive monthly BPR. So this is what we had last week, but we just consolidated, right? So this is a nice consolidation. You know what else I see though? This is what I see. I think we finally got what we needed. And we see some sell side liquidity here. Sell side liquidity sweep. So overall, just so you guys can see on the monthly time frame, why do we go on the monthly time frame for assets like this? Well, because because guys, forex moves slower than a snail. So we got to go to high time frame to see what's going to happen. So we hit this order block, we hit this fair value gap, price rejected it. Monthly is starting off bearish, right? We got a little wick to go higher, and I think um honestly, I can't lie to you guys, this looks super bearish on the monthly time frame, but of course, as we know, we're not trading monthly time frames, but that gives us an overall narrative. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't like the fact that this looks so bearish on the monthly, because on the weekly, it also, like, we'd have to wait for this weekly fair value gap that just formed to be um disrespected. So if this week we get a disrespect of this weekly imbalance, then we are absolutely cooked, and we're going to be bearish, right? So that'd be nice. I do think, however, what happens over the next week or two is extremely important for EU. So right now we look super bullish, right? We got this monthly fair value gap that we're sitting inside. We have a daily fair value gap that we're sitting inside. Sorry, not monthly. We got a weekly fair value gap that we're sitting inside. So we got this weekly FEG, right? And on the daily chart, we have an overlap with the daily, right? And the sell side liquidity inside of it. So we got to see what happens here. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. 4-hour time frame to me looks really clean. We want to see a break of structure to the upside. And if I get a bullish PO3, then I'm cooking. We're going for longs, right? But if not, we got to see what happens. So we'll wait and see what happens here. But overall, short term I'm bullish, long term I'm bearish. Okay, just letting you know. So short term bullish inside of this daily fair value gap, this weekly and daily fair value gap. Long term bearish if we hold this monthly fair value gap. Cool. That is my analysis. So for my Europeans that are trading, consider this, okay? This is my full outlook. I choose USD CAD just because I'm Canadian. I feel you. I feel you. New here. What does disrespected mean? Disrespected means it, like, so here's a quick tutorial on fair value gaps for those of you guys that don't know, okay? Because I know there must be a lot of you that are still getting used to like the terms. So let's just say we have, let's go to this example here. If you watch the fair value gap video in the academy, this will give you a much better description. But what a fair value gap is like a gap in the market when a candle was so big that the wicks of the first and third candles, so imagine this is candle 1, this is candle 2, and this is candle 3. That gap in between them is what we call, from wick to wick, a fair value gap. Okay? A respected fair value gap is, they're supposed to be used as launch pads. So if price taps into this area and launches up like it did here, that's what we call respected. If it goes in the opposite direction, right, and it disrespects it, so it closes below this imbalance, it pretty much voids it. It like kills it. Doesn't matter. It's like it wasn't even there. Just disrespects it completely. To give you an example, this bearish fair value gap over here, which will mark in red, price should have came up, this green candle should have came up and then went lower, okay? But what happened was price closed above it. Once it closes above it like that, it disrespected it. It was like, I don't give a damn that you're there. You're done. You're irrelevant to me. And now this fair value gap unfortunately disappears and becomes irrelevant. Okay? Feels bad. Not a good feeling. disrespected fair value gaps just get completely demolished. However, we have another phenomenon which is called inversion fair value gaps, which we'll talk about in the future. But yeah, daily fair value gaps or any fair value gaps in general that get closed above or below, completely disrespected, like they get completely closed above or below means they're disrespected. If they are tapped into nicely and respectfully and they go up, that's considered respect of the imbalance. Okay. And I use the word fair value gap and imbalance interchangeably. If you guys want to take a note down, every fair value gap is an imbalance, but not every imbalance is a fair value gap. Okay. I'll say it again. Every fair value gap is an imbalance, but not every imbalance is a fair value gap. Hopefully that makes sense. And like I said, if you're in the community, you'll learn that. And yeah, we're going to some crazy trading, guys. You guys are gonna be super happy with how the next, couple weeks goes for your journey and stuff. So that's it, guys. One more question I think I see here. If price, let's say, continues to go bearish regarding the actual direction of the monthly, or since many years, that would mean there will be some heavy fundamental impacts. Oh yeah, because it's been a long time since we've had a massive move like that, and it's based off the monthly time frame. There should be fundamental impacts, right? Yeah. So I mean, think of it this way: the U.S. dollar is starting to strengthen. Okay, if you guys look, the US dollar is starting to strengthen and showing signs. We had a massive, massive, I've been waiting for this. Look at this rejection, right? If we look at the monthly, I think it was the monthly. No, actually. Well, on the monthly time frame, we do have a liquidity sweep. But if we go to the weekly time frame, we have a 3-month fair value gap, by the way. We have a quarterly imbalance. So break a structure, quarterly imbalance is filling. And we have more here. This is so crazy, guys, that I'm even using this. You guys have never seen this in your life, by the way. This will be a first time ever that we talked about it on the call. It's called a quarterly fair value gap. I've never had to pull this thing out of the hat because there's certain assets you never need to look at this for. But if you look at it, we're inside of it, right? And we have strong rejection from this imbalance. So the dollar is looking extremely bullish. Okay. It looks like we're starting to make a bull run. If the dollar goes bullish, what does that mean for the Euro USD? What does it mean? It means that the Euro USD will go down. Because the stronger the dollar gets, the lower that ratio becomes. Yeah. So we move on. And if the dollar goes up, then we expect the euro to go down, the euro US dollar to go down, right? So this is our quarterly to monthly to weekly, analysis. And I think if we get more bullish PO3s on the dollar, then euro will continue to go down. But we're inside of a big imbalance. Like short term, I think we're going to go bearish, maybe a bit more for the dollar, which will push euro up. And I think that's what's going to happen. It'll go up a bit and then it'll drop. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Next couple of weeks should clear up things. NFP is happening on Wednesday. That should clear some stuff up. But that's pretty much it, guys. Okay. So that's, I think, 5 or 6 different assets that we looked at, including the dollar. And yeah, hopefully that made a lot of sense. If you guys want to make sure that you do not miss what's going to happen in the market before it happens, make sure to hop on these sessions every single week on YouTube Live. As you've known, for those of you that have been around us for some time, you guys know the accuracy of these things. So it's great. And yeah, guys, we'll go from there. I'll see you guys on the next one. And as always, take care and peace.